And just like that, the next episode has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. I am your host, MegaShadowFist, and when we last left off, we were trying to save Desiree Delight. So, without further ado, let's continue. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atmey Detective Agency. Alright, so we can say that I can't prove anything yet, which would be... that's kind of silly. We can testify about what I saw or show fingerprints on the urn. Now, if Atmey was smart, he probably wouldn't... he wears gloves, doesn't he? He normally wears gloves, so I don't think that works. Let's go testify about what I saw.
What's wrong? Isn't it your job to come up with something to say?
Nick, come on! It should be easy to prove! After all, we checked out the bag, didn't we?
You're right. I remember doing that. Whatever was in there, it was hard and round, and smooth, too.
Yes! It must have been the urn! It must have!
But I never actually saw it with my own eyes.
That's true.
Atmey walked in just when I was about to have a look at it. So even if it was the urn in there, I can't testify that it was.
You're right!
Huh. It looks like I was wrong about you, Mr. Trite. In this town overflowing with lies, there's still a single flickering candle of truth.
Nicky boy!
Well, it's true that I never actually saw the urn, but maybe I can still testify about it from another angle.
What about it, Mr. Wright? Have you given up yet?
There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atmey Detective Agency.
I don't think that that's going to work, though, because it doesn't yeah, they wear gloves, so I don't think that's going to work, but let's try it.
I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints, eh?
Oh, come now. Yeah, he wears gloves. Now you're really making me laugh, sir lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything.
What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are you gonna do now?
I've come too far to turn back now. Atmey must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. We can't save. Okay, Phoenix Wright?
It should either be Mask to Mask or Luke Atmey. But it wouldn't make sense to say Mask to Mask because we don't know who Mask to Mask is. So, should we say Luke Atmey? I mean, who else could it have been? Like, this is the only thing that makes sense. So we'll go with it.
Let me give you an important piece of advice. The only one who keeps a cool head all the way until the game's end is the winner.
Let me give you an even more important piece of advice, Mr. Wright. You are not going to win this game with that answer.
Are you breaking the fourth wall?
Wow, even the judge is making cool, snappier remarks now. Does that mean I was wrong again?
The urn was put in that bag and carried to the detective's office yesterday. That means the person I should be fingering is... wait, person's office yesterday. The person who left their prints on the urn yesterday at the Atmey Detective Agency.
Do you really think there's someone that could fit the bill?
I don't know.
Like, who else? Aside from Ron Delight, but... what would that say? Ron Delight was a security officer. But... we'll go with Ron Delight. Because he was blackmailed. Well, Mr. Wright, what have you decided?
Your Honor, please give me just one more chance. Let's go ahead and... should we save? No, let's not save.
Because I don't know if I'm wrong... because, like, what if we aren't supposed to present anything? Like, what if we're not supposed to present a profile? Then what? Then we're stuck in this ever-ending paradox. Let's go with Ron Delight. Okay. You might say, well, that's incriminating evidence. Why would you prove that? I don't know. Sometimes this game works in mysterious ways. You have to look at things from a different angle. Okay, so we got a guilty verdict.
I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. Alright, so let's just assume that in actuality, we can't prove it yet. The accused will surrender to the court immediately to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from the day's date. That is all. The court is adjourned. I love how he says the same exact thing every time. It's like we're playing Trials or Justice for All over again. I was about to say Trials and Tribulations. We are playing Trials and Tribulations. By the way, I have to say, no one reacted to the Trials and Tribulations logo. Like, because, like, if you're used to the Justice for All logo, I'm sure the Trials and Tribulations logo must have looked kind of weird. Like, it's, like, gold and stuff. No one said anything. Maybe you guys did notice it, but you just didn't care enough to say anything. That's always a possibility. Alright, what did... This court would like to see the decisive proof you have. Quickly. Huh? Oh, yes, of course. What's with the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Oh! We're all the way back here. Alright, whatever. It's no big deal. But can I really do it? Besides the evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atmey is in fact Master Mask, hasn't yet to be found. Okay. I got nothing. And we can't just, and normally you can actually skip through things, but since this is quote-unquote stuff that we haven't seen before, we have to let it play out normally, unfortunately. Like you can't just skip through things. There's no, like... Well, even if this was, like, a traditional visual novel, you wouldn't be able to skip through stuff because this technically hasn't been seen since we loaded from the save point from before then. Okay, are you going to just give up and yet let us lose this? So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I am... Like, who else? Like, the only thing I can think of is, like, the fingerprints of Mask to Mask, but, like, would that really work? Alright. I love how Desiree wasn't actually given a voice. Like, it just said, hold it, nothing. Like, they could have at least, like, maybe use, like, the same voice actress who did, Mia, and maybe make it just a little different. But, nah, whatever. No big deal. No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, that's... You know, I didn't say anything, but I have to say... That's not the right urn. That isn't the right urn, actually. It's not. I mean, I was like, something seems odd about this, like the patchwork, but it says, what happened to the, like, I noticed that beforehand, and I'm not slow, which is I didn't say anything about it. Can we check it? Okay. Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atmey? Let's check the court record and look at this. Found in the office of Luke Atmey has pink splotches all over it. From the paint, I suppose, but it doesn't explain how it got fixed to say Amy. Well, I guess, whatchamacallit could have, Objection! Huh, pathetic. Alright, Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. You forgot one thing, Your Honor. No, what? Not now, Mr. Wright. You forgot one thing, Your Honor. No, please, Mr. Wright, please. You forgot one thing, Your Honor. Ordeon says, as a wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere, including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. That is true. I just bought... Okay, so let's go ahead and save Miss Desiree Delight from being dead. She killed you, and now you're dead. You're wrong, I would never. Miss Delight, please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense to these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atmey Detective Agency. Alright, let's go ahead and save. What happens? I want to say though, what happens if we choose that we don't know yet? What would that say? From save point. I can't prove anything yet. What happens if we say that? Because, like, the other two, like, the show fingerprints thing, like, we could go on and on for ages about that. This, there's only right and wrong. So if we're wrong, we'll know ahead of time, and then we can just eliminate that option. The only thing we can do is show fingerprints. I think we're supposed to show fingerprints, but just in case. I can't prove anything yet. But Nick! Very well. It looks like that's all then. Exactly. And this urn is all the proof I need to make my case. What? You still don't get it, huh? Listen closely, Mr. Trite. This is the urn that Master Mask stole, right? Now, the wife of the accused comes strolling in here with the very same urn, correct? Now, who would you think is the thief?
No, that's wrong. That's not why I've got it. Nick, you can't let him do this.
This isn't good. There has to be another way around this.
Your Honor, please let me think it over one more time.
Mr. Wright, it's high time that you learn your lesson. The courtroom is no place for poorly thought out or rash declarations. I have to be careful. He won't be so nice next time. There must be some way.
I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atmey detective agency. Okay, so I knew that wasn't right, but I just wanted to, just in case I was overlooking something, because, you know, I have. That's usually how it is with me when video games. When I'm full of confidence, you know, I tend to do really well. But when something happens that really like messes me up, I tend to get a lot. I tend to not perform as well. Like in the first episode, you know, taking so long to figure out that I needed to present the brooch really made me second guess a lot of my decisions. I think my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness fingerprints would mean nothing anyway.
Nick, what are you gonna do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Atmey must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday, and there I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it.
The defense proposed that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn.
Amy Faye?
Okay, so we tried these two. It wouldn't make sense, Larry, but Adrian Andrews? Let's try Master Mask. Okay, I thought so. The game isn't trying to, like, I've had this thought in my head, but I'm not saying I didn't go on this because I don't want it to be true. Does that mean I won that again? Okay, this urn was put in that bag and carried to the detective's office yesterday. That means the person I should be fingering is the person who left their prints on the urn yesterday at the Atmey Detective Agency. Do you really think there's someone that could fit the bill? Name another person. It could be Desiree for all I know. Okay. So let's go with the least likely people. First, let's eliminate the odds. Okay, so we know for a fact that it is not Master Mask, it does not look at me, it does not run to life. We know that it cannot possibly be these four. Or Dick Gumshoe. It can't be Godot. The only people that are left are Larry Butts, which I highly doubt, Adrian Andrews, which is possible, and Desiree Delight. She could have delivered the urn to him. Let's try that. Ugh, this sounds stupid. Okay. I was like, she could have delivered to him for like safekeeping, but I'm like, no, that doesn't make. After a while, after thinking about it, I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So the only person it could be is Desiree Delight. I didn't want it to be, but let's go with it. We'll have to go with it. That's odd, though. Why would her fingerprints be on it? Why would she deliver it to the... Because she doesn't strike me as, like, a bad person, per se. A bit adventure crazy and money hungry, but not a bad person. Show fingerprints on the urn. I mean, because, like, there's a difference between, like, seeming, like, there's, like, the difference between, like, fake nice and, like, nice. She doesn't seem, like, fake nice to me. I don't know. Because, like, you know, like, Minnie, Dahlia Hawthorne, they seemed fake nice to me, you know? Like, it was, like, so, like, it's, like, sure, they're trying to be, like, nice and polite and all, but something about them just seems a little off. You know, she doesn't seem off, she seems pretty straightforward to me, so if she really was behind all this, that would come as a surprise to me. I've come too far to turn back now. Atmey must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday, and I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. Unless, did I miss something? Is there, like, evidence? No. Okay, so... I was like, no, okay. So, Godot, no. Larry Butts, doubtful. Adrian Andrews is a no for sure. These guys, definitely not. Dick Gumshoe, no. These three, no. Only person it can be is Desiree Delight. If this is wrong, I'm calling the cops. What? No, don't save. Who on earth could it possibly be then? Pearl? Pearl's fingerprints on it? Godot's? Larry Butts's? Let's go with Larry Butts. Because honestly, it can't... I don't see it. Sometimes I just don't see the logic in this game. Well, actually, I don't see it at first, but then they explain it. I'm just like, it's kind of far-fetched, but I can see it. The person who left their fingerprints on the urn yesterday at the Atmey Detective Agency. Was Larry Butts even there? What happens if we just think it over again? Well, Mr. Wright, what have you decided to do? Forgive me, Your Honor. I've decided to think the whole thing over again. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atmey Detective Agency. Okay, so testify about what I saw. No, that's not going to work. Show fingerprints on the urn. Okay, so we have to show fingerprints of somebody. Have we been doing this literally the entire episode? I think we have literally been doing this one piece of thing the entire episode. I hate when this happens. I get super stuck. Like, this wouldn't really bother me so much if it weren't for the fact that I'm doing, like, the video. I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. I doubt... Okay, so... It can't be Godot. There's no way it's Godot. Larry Butts. Okay, so we know for a fact it's not her, it's not her, it's not him, it's not him, it's not him. It can't be Gumshoe, because he didn't know about anything. Phoenix, no. Mia Fey is dead. Maya Fey and Pearl Fey, it's highly unlikely their fingerprints are on this. Unless it was Pearl. That'd be weird. This doesn't make sense either, but I'm gonna go with it. Look, man, like, we did everything. I don't understand at all how this, like, we tried everybody. Like, we tried everybody that makes sense. We tried everyone that doesn't make sense. I don't understand. I legitimately don't understand. I think now might be a time to say you're a butt, man. You're a butt. I don't like you. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. From where we last left, from save point. Okay. I'm looking this up right now, actually. Okay, so... What? What? Why on earth would I think to do that? I can prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it. How does that make sense? That does not make sense at all! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, would you have thought to do this honestly? Like, would you have thought to do this? After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. So, we're gonna go with... Alright, you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? You ready? Sure, someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposed that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. Phoenix Wright! So, what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atmey, do you recall the events of yesterday? I guess I'll have to recall it in the next episode. Awkward pause. That doesn't make sense. Why would any rational person think to present Phoenix? I swear that's the only reason he was put into the profile was just for this one thing. That's the only reason, because he was never there before. Awkward pause. Well, if you were a prodigy like me, you would understand that that was the obvious choice, right?